PhD Tech, Coimbatore, during the year 1976. He did his MTech from IIT Delhi in the area of Electronics and VLSI Technology in the year 1978. He has completed his PhD from IISc in the year 1988. He has published more than 40 national and international conference journal papers and guided 30 PG/UG projects. He's taken 2 joint patents on the thyristor design and fabrication, large area pressure switch. He was with Bell for 34 years and with MSRIT as HOD Telecom for 4 years. He has handled many R&D projects from DRDO labs. He is specialized in the field of semiconductors, MEMS, wireless technologies. Currently, he is serving as a professor in the Aerospace Department, International Institute of Aerospace Engineering and Management at Jain University. Today, he would be giving his talk on the topic Smart Senses and IoT Applications. We welcome you, sir. I request Professor Naveen Chandrakumar to welcome Sir floor. Thank you, sir. Looking forward for your sea of thoughts.
I think just 5 minutes before noon, so it is good morning. I'm happy to be here today. I've been to Mangalore a couple of times, visiting Manipal University and then maybe NIH Rothkal and a couple of other colleges. Today was a good day because where your top management like Registrar, Vice Chancellor, they're all here to make this program a grand inaugural. So I really thank them for inviting me here along with the electronics staff and the chairman for this program. So this is an area I think the inaugural speakers, both Kamal and your Vice Chancellor, they told about the importance of sensors. Indeed, I think it is an area of growth the last say 20 years and maybe like next 20 years it is going to rule the world. So it is good for the youngsters who can able to understand this and especially the electronics students because the application is your imagination. It all depends upon how you want to apply a sensor for different requirements. So maybe like as you go along, you can see a large number of applications which has become a part of the day today. And then maybe like some of them you can able to even put into your own labs. But I understand you're also going to have a sensor lab. So it is a good thing to happen because IoT and sensors are getting married, and then with the cloud in place, I think you can do a lot of wonders. So this is a new activity coming up, both internet and the cloud. With the physical layer, of sensors, this is going to be a very exciting field. And without sensors, IoT has no value. Without sensors, cloud has no value. Because sensors are the one which directly interact with the physical world. Right? When you are dealing with the physical world, you face a lot of problems. Unlike where you're sitting in an AC room and to log in and check your internet or through the cloud you can see something. Because you really don't know what is happening in the outside world. You have a feel of it, but you not have an actual knowledge of it. Why I'm telling? Because when I put sensors in an automobile or in aerospace or in a tank, the harsh environment which is required can be only tested when you see that this requires a lot of modification. In the end, I spent almost around say 10-12 years just to perfect one sensor. The simple reason because when you're working in a defense or aerospace, the requirements are very, very stringent. Like commercial aircraft today has got the highest endurance compared to the military aircraft or maybe in the other tanks. The simple reason, the civilians are actually flying, so you need to give a lot of importance to the safety of the passengers. So over the period you can see the number of accidents have come down in aerospace, mainly because the sensors hundreds of sensors have been mounted both inside the cabin and outside the aircraft. So you can get a real-time feel like what is happening in the altitude, what is happening in the temperature, what is happening in the humidity, what is happening in the speed. So you can keep on telling these sensors are given actually a robust sort of safety play. Similarly, when you look at automobile, I don't know, you're all so young, most of you are very young, maybe some of you would see in the 1970s, 80s, or even up to 90s, India had only 2 cars, Fiat and automobile. I think they ruled India and they ruined India. Because when you don't innovate, when you don't change your attitude, when you don't change your approach, you become dormant. Correct? You have a vehicle which is giving a 7 kilometers enough emission, and what can you expect from these 2 vehicles? Could actually Maruti from Japan came, all of you, I think you are all kids, maybe you are not born, most of you, 1985. That came the complete change of technology to the automobile industry in India. There is one device which actually made the whole technology change. It is called manifold observed sensor. It is simple pressure sensor based on MEMS. This device has made the complete change. It has knocked down the carburetor. It simply knocked down the carburetor. Your fuel efficiency from say 7 kilometers has gone to 15 kilometers. The electronics in maybe say 20 years back, maybe hardly 5 to 10% in automobile. But today we talk about 40 to 50%. We have airbags, we have temperature sensors, pressure sensors, we use for so many applications, more than say 100 and so many controllers. So all these are happening, but still India, I think we are seeing the sensors are not given due respect in the academia. Okay. There is no specialized course wherein the sensors will be deployed either in the physics department or in the electronics department. What I could see, because I've been to many universities, except some work is going on IITs and IIC, but not to the extent of making a product. So India is going to become dependent on these sensors when the time to come. So maybe you can write a code, maybe you can write an app, maybe you can connect to the cloud, or you can talk about the AI. All that's okay. But unless you don't understand the basic sensor, I think interface will become difficult. No sir, they will give all the protocols, they will give all the pin connections, they will give all that, fine. So it become one more fully job. So it's time, I think maybe your vice chancellor has rich experience on the materials and technology, and he has also a lot of interest in the sensors. Maybe it's time, I think you people can able to get into the sensor area and try to build a system based on your own interest or your own region. So maybe with this, I would like to maybe spend an hour and a half, or depending upon what interest you have, because freelance, maybe you feel hungry after some time, or maybe after you become angry on me. No, you are spending more time, sir. No. As you go along, I think I will also interact with you, some of you, depending upon what you want to be and what can happen the days to come. So I've been working almost from say 1976 on this area. And somewhere I think 2000, I think I decided to completely change the portfolio to sensors. And somewhere I think 2005 I decided to go for wireless, because you need to make a system. Just a material, just a device, no use. Because when you want to work in a business, you need to have actually all these things together. You just got an integrated approach. In an industry you can't say no sir, I will only work on this. Like you people say, I will work on C coding. No, I will work on image processing. No, I will work on something on the dashboard. Fine, all this looks okay. But when you want to deliver something to the community, you need to have a holistic approach. So maybe as we go along, we will see some of the technologies what I've developed, some of the things what is being coming up. Maybe next 10 years going to be very exciting, because you're all going to play a big role using a cell phone or a tablet. Okay, it is going to rule the world. Whether you like it or not, I can't stop you seeing a cell phone during the conference, maybe in your class, maybe off, maybe WhatsApp, you can't stop, Facebook you can't stop, because both have been embedded into your brain. So you don't see Facebook or WhatsApp, I think that's all, you feel something missing in your life. You are missing meals, but not the WhatsApp, right? So you got used to the style of actually knowing something instant. They are not so when you are born. When you are a kid, I think you don't know what cell phone is. Maybe today's kids 2 years old, they will talk to their dad. How are you? So this is the age of information, the age of technology. So you are lucky that actually, maybe you are 45 years younger to me, and maybe 45 years richer to me in the technology, because you get everything in internet, right? You go to Google, you search whatever you want, right? Like other day I just got a new iPhone, so I got actually a speaker activated voice command to write my messages. So I don't want to type. I keep talking, the message gets printed, I can just proceed with a little more correction, or as a draft, I can keep sending. Maybe 20 years back, I had a tape recorder, my secretary, I thought talking, so record it, then they listen, then try to type. You see, last 20 years, how the technology got changed. And the next maybe 5-10 years, you are going to see these two merged together. Smart sensors and IoT and the cloud, and these are going to get merged. So I thought maybe it's good for you all to know how this can be learned. Okay, there are some two slides as an electronic engineers or electronic graduates you should know. I think all of you know the 1947 India got made up, correct? So you can't forget that. The field for the world on technology was born in 1947. William Shockley from Bell Labs, he invented the transistor. That was the starting point for the whole revolution of technology. Today, but for the invention, I think we would have used all the sensors. So this is the starting point where very crudely, they have a collector, emitter and the base. So what it was, they had a germanium crystal, so wherein they just use actually a small contact point. It's called a contact point transistor. They applied some current and then they started conducting. They are Nobel laureates. I think it has given them a sort of a tremendous growth in the technology years and rest of the world. Okay, the other man, which all of you cannot forget, is actually a Nobel laureate again, Richard Feynman. 1958, he actually told there is plenty of room at the bottom. People are not able to even understand. Audience think what this crack is talking about, plenty of room at the bottom. Bottom is empty. They started ridiculing him. Then I think somewhere, subsequently he started explaining what is meant by plenty of room at the bottom. So you can Google it, Richard Feynman in his Caltech address, he has told very clearly how actually technology is going to change for the next 40-50 years. So whatever we are talking about nanotechnology or nanophysics, nanomaterials, all that he is able to predict and then really actually make the technology grow in the days to come. So these two are the two revolutions, maybe one on transistors, the other is on nanotechnology. These two are the two important events happened in the history of science. Okay, so we are seeing there's one. Anybody know what is MEMS? Anybody know this front page? What is MEMS? Hey, you people should tell you. What is MEMS? Good, yeah, something at the back page is not sleeping, would be able to be alert. But front page is actually alert, but they're not able to answer. So this is the revolution, microelectromechanical system. The 1960s, the mechanical engineers are very strong. They know about diaphragm, they know about spring, they know about so many things on mechanical. They used to design a pressure gauge or a weighing gauge. But they never disclose to the electronic people because they want to keep the domain very secret. They keep on doing the same junk and it's looking so big and people are not able to use much. Somewhere in the 70s, they realized their product is going to be obsolete because transistors have been invented. There are a lot of electronics coming up. Then a couple of mechanical people, a couple of electronics people joined together. And the outcome is the MEMS. Today, without MEMS, I think if you look at your area, I'm going to talk more about it. So these sensors has grown somewhere from 70s and up to today. I think it has been having a tremendous growth as a sensor. But when the internet came and the cloud came, its usage has become multifold. I think we can see as we go on. Yeah, you can see a large number of applications. But I used to tell it is called a disruptive technology. Somebody can tell what is the disruptive technology? What do you mean by disruptive technology? A technology which replaces the existing product portfolio. So I can tell you because when you're born, maybe you've seen a CRT. Your dad was using, correct? The CRT now totally vanished by inventing LCD or LED screens. So this is one part, one product. Then there are so many technologies which actually replace the other technology. So similarly, the MEMS is a disruptive technology wherein it has simply replaced the existing applications. Simply replace the existing applications, and it is going to grow much more. Okay. That is called multidisciplinary. Why not actually like every aspect of science, it may be mechanical, civil, biology, everything is integrated because when you talk about a micro needle used for the human application, you need a biologist. When you're talking something in automation, you need an electrical engineer, you need an electronic engineer, maybe now you need a software engineer. Without the software, we can't move a thing, all of you know. APIs are just made, it may be physics, mechanical, everybody gets into the software technology today. But you have the required expertise on particular domain, like what the today morning speaker was talking about, like agriculture, sensing. Then what happens? You become a multi-discipline person. So the need of the hour is at least just don't only focus on one when you are studying, try to learn as much as possible. So that you can fit in maybe in a multiple places. Even like Infosys, Wipro, or maybe Cognizant, they're all looking at actually engineers with higher level of learning. It's just not only the coding. The coding days are gone. I'm telling you again and again. The coding days are gone. The days to come where we talk about APIs. The APIs has to be configured with actually specific applications. So if you wanted to survive in this competitive world, you need to know more about the multidisciplinary programs where somebody is looking for. So the MEMS is perfectly a multidisciplinary program wherein many scientists together or many teachers together work out. And especially places like Mangalore University is ideal because you have physics, you have chemistry, you have mathematics, and you have electronics. If you can join together and come out with some plan so that your lab becomes something unique. Otherwise what happens? You will only talk about electronics. No, it is not only electronics. We will see as we go. Okay. These are small motors which have been actually developed maybe almost some 25 years back. Can somebody guess what is the size of the motor? There is a starter and there is a rotor. All of you know there is a motor. What is the smallest size of the motor? Anybody can guess? It is less than 5 mm. Not done. It was done almost 20 years back. Because the micro machining it really makes things small and small. Okay. This point I just like want to understand what is micro. Can somebody tell what is the diameter of your hair, human hair? Anybody can tell in the audience what is the diameter of your hair? What? I am asking you the dimension. I want the value. I want the value because I don't want the micro becoming such a large, like 3 order difference. Very close to, or what you do, maybe after the workshop, you go home, go to your lab, pluck your hair, and put it in a microscope and see approximately what the diameter, right? Or you go to the physics lab, probably they will help you. Typically around 50 microns. Typically around 50 microns. So we are talking a device which are in micron level. So 1000 microns or 1 mm, right? We can visualize 1 mm. You can also see your hair. 50 microns you can able to see, right? But you can't see like 50 nanometers. 3 hours down, you can't see. So we need actually a magnifier. We need actually SEM, whatnot. We need actually so many high-end tools. Okay, I just show you the design of a motor. You can see actually the actual picture. This has been fabricated. So it's all done. It's just not actually any more science. It is actually a product. It's actually a product. the Nobel laureate Richard Feynman, when he got a Nobel Prize, he got a lot of money. So he wanted to give it to the students or the innovators around $1,000 each. $1,000 in 1958 raised to 1 crore, given a simple bank interest. So he just told, like, I have 2 questions and the 2 problems, can you come out with a solution? Solution means that that's not predicting it or writing a story. He wants actually a product. A smallest car and in a rice grain, you are able to print 1 page. Look, 1958, look, even today, I think, if you ask some student, can you able to write in a grain, 1 page? Is it possible? Is it possible or not possible? Possible? No? Maybe in your lab it's not possible. Maybe you can go to somebody's lab where they have an X-ray lithography, so where you can able to write, right? So, but it happened in 1958. So this is the smallest car which is made in Japan, which is actually based on piezoelectric technology. So you can see, like, these sort of innovations that makes you, like, think more, right? Otherwise, what I'm like, you think, okay, everything's fine. Okay, I talked about the micro. This is the nanotechnology where we are talking something like 10⁹ meters. So this is again revolution in the whole world, because now the whole semiconductor technology is going to the nano. The whole of medical field is beginning the nano. So there are a lot of opportunities coming up, bio merging. Similarly, nanotechnology for semiconductors. So there are opportunities coming up in this nanotechnology. Okay? I think some of you, or most of you have seen the steam engine in the exhibition. Right? Now steam engines are not there. Imagine a steam engine, such a big giant, we can able to make maybe like 10 to 15 centimeters, a small microtechnology. You can see some of the balls where we can see the piston, which is the paramount for the steam engine, can be fabricated with a 1-on-1 equivalent. You may not get the same thrust, but you'll get the same function. That's the beauty of this technology. You can use it in so many applications. So you talk about satellite communication or satellite technology or nuclear applications, where we are talking about our micro robots, where you want to work on a micro scale, these technologies become more relevant. Okay. Look at the micro needle. Even today, if you go to hospital in Bangalore, so when you want to take the blood, what they will do, the doctor or the nurse? She will take a big needle and she will take maybe something like 10 ml, 15 ml blood. Right? So the technology has still not come to the application. But look at this domain where a small, something like 100 micron tip needles have been already fabricated, being used extensively in advanced hospitals, where you take a small drop of a blood. Not only that, after that you got a post-processing, lab on chip. This chip will be able to completely diagnose all your vital parameters, and you can able to get the results maybe like, an hour after you do the blood. Otherwise, like, if you want to really do the blood test and get the results, maybe some time back, it takes something like, few days. Today, of course, you may get it end of the day, but with this technology, you can able to do maybe in an hour. So these are the things that is coming up in the X-ray application. Okay. There's one more beautiful technology where it's been used. It's called micro cantilevers. So beautifully mentioned micro cantilever. You can see here this cantilever. It is around something like 50 micron or less than diameter, something like around 500 micron length. We can able to predict the resonance frequency. If you all understand the resonance frequency of a cantilever beam, freestanding beam, I put actually a blood sample, which is a person not having any disease, and note on the resonance frequency. I put a blood sample, somebody having cancer. You just see the difference in the resonance frequencies. So based on that, you can able to judge. Maybe say 70-80% confidence. then you can always go in for other trials. So this has become a beautiful tool that IIT Bombay is doing a lot of work, and maybe the rest of the world, I think they're doing a lot of work on such innovative applications of them. Okay. If you're not able to see this slide, I think I'm going to leave my presentation. You can go through. So I was born in 1953. So maybe I can able to see the technology, say from 1960. Because I started my engineering in 1971, I could be able to see the technology, what is happening for the last, say, 5 decades. You are so young, most of you. Look at actually the internet, which was invented in 1962. Up to 2000 or even 2005, to just use for mailing, not even message. Just for the mails, just for the data transfer. But you see, like the last 10 years, last 10, 15 years, the growth of internet has become phenomenal. Right? Now people talk about big data. Nobody wants to hold the data. Right? Your own cell phone, you don't hold the data, right? Where does the data go? Data is there all in US. Like you know the Facebook scandal, right? He has taken all your Jataka. The moment you log in, all your video, photo, everything is being stored there. Because these guys actually, like, when you before log in WhatsApp, they'll ask a 10-page report. End up you say, like, are you accepting it? So what do? Who will read all that? Okay, it is free. So simply I sign up. Signing up what? To just give a tick. So you accept all the terms and conditions of WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatnot. All the profiles, where you are born, where you are married, where's your father, all details have been corrected. So these guys, I think they are very beautifully, the whole world is beautifully exploiting us, especially India. When I went to China last year, I don't know how many of you know, China there is no Google. Are you aware? China there is no Google. And they are performing maybe 100 times better than us. No, so simply are telling. I have seen myself, the bullet train which is going at 315 kilometers or 5,000 kilometers, 1,500 kilometers, logging in much better than the aircrafts. I was there in Beijing, I was in Shanghai. I can see 15 bullet trains like a toys which is just going. So one bullet train, we are struggling, right? So much controversies. So we are not able to make. We are looking for Japan. Right? We can't make a bullet train because we have not made a train. The train was made by General Electric. Our train, I think all of you know, was not made by us. British came and they made some railway tracks and some engines. Later on we followed some legacy of the war. We are not able to build our own technology. No, sir, everything that we are not doing what you are doing. You are also doing something good. Okay, so these 5 or 6 decades actually completely changed the technology map. Sometimes the absorption of technology takes time. The beginning, maybe also, like 2000, it takes time because there is no marketing, there is no proper manufacturing in India. But today you can see like the laptop or a cell phone which has been released in Singapore or in US, the same day, I'm sure that you will get it, right? Similarly, your OS on the iPhone 11, OS 11, 11.2, something like instant is being configured there, you can able to configure it. You get alerts. So you get global alerts instantly. So this is the beauty of technology. Like you can see like how the technology actually made so many innovations. So many innovations. I only covered about the sensors, maybe along with IoT. But you can also look at the other fields like there are so much growth. And as a youngster, it's good for you to look at these growths. Okay. I'll just quickly run through some products missing electronic engineers, you need to know. You need to know, because if you want to set up a lab, it is worthwhile looking at it. Some other things like, how the manufacturing taking place, and which are the companies. So like, in Bangalore, you go all these companies. You talk about Texas Instruments, Hewlett Packard, or Robert Bosch. All these companies are there in Bangalore. So I'm telling you, like, if you have some interest and you learn something, you are sure to get a job. But all these guys, they all come to Bangalore. You know the reason? 20 years back, like XPEL, General Electric, Philips, Siemens, they're all doing the medical research elsewhere in their own countries, taking the samples and making it actually a product to India. Today, no. So what they do, they come to our village, they come to your Bangalore, they collect all the samples. They do the research right in Bangalore and make the product for the local community. So they are very clear that they want to make more money, because I don't know how many of you know, 80% of the revenue what they collect is being exported out. So what you get is equally job, some say 300, 30,000 or 25,000. It's a very meager money, because they make the bulk of profits and then export it out. So unless you feel like, my IP has to be recognized, demand more work. I think luckily, last 3-4 years, we are talking about more startups, more IP related activities. Maybe it will be a little more visibility. But these are the areas I think, we need to see how these companies are able to come to India, come to Bangalore and make it business. Like one of the high growth area, we could see actually healthcare. How many of you know about the Bangalore health? Anybody know about anybody from Bangalore region? Anybody know about the Bangalore health? Anybody know the Bangalore health index? It is called the diabetic city of India. Anybody know? Anybody know? Because I've been in Bangalore for say 40 years and trying to analyze. So I always feel like coming to Bangalore and living, because you have a natural body conditioning. You sweat it out. Correct? You can take more food but still you feel hungry. But not in Bangalore. Not in Bangalore. So the healthcare based business, especially the microfluidics based or research, is going to be a big activity, because many people are falling sick in India. Especially like with the air conditioning, maybe with the low humidity. You will not believe, somewhere in Bangalore, the humidity goes down to 20%. A human being, a normal human being, you want to breathe with health index, it has to be something like 50%. Above 40. So you can see like, how we can able to modify this life, but unless you understand the problem. So this is an area I think a lot of research going on, the microfluidics. That's why you can see the growth of this market, growth of this market. People are becoming healthy, but like software guys, at the age of 45, 15, fine, they cannot move, they are not agile. They have to wear specs maybe at the age of 30. So these are issues, I think a lot of things are happening in the sensors for the healthcare. I think all of you are using cell phone, correct? For taking photos, right? Selfies. Anywhere and everywhere you take selfies, the day or night. So it is an interesting activity where cell phone is given the 2 cameras, you can able to enjoy your photograph. Anybody know how it is happening? Anybody can tell how that photography is taking place? You tilt this way, you tilt this way, whichever way you tilt, the photo is suddenly tilting along with you. Is it possible to have a normal camera? Not possible. So that person has to bend. You put the screen upside down, automatically the screen is getting reverted by 180 degrees. So there is actually a device called gyroscope along the accelerometer, which is being built into the circuit, so that automatically the screen is being tilted. So this is the power of this technology, wherein you can able to move the smart way your camera. Okay. You might not be able to see this one here. What is 10 billion? What is 10 billion in 2010? By 2017, it's becoming 21 billion. It is only sensors, I'm telling you. Almost 100% there is increase in the business, only in the sensor area. So it's a very high growth area where you can see a lot of growth. Okay. You can also see a large number of sensors going to be deployed in the days to come, because you want to have more and more automation, whether it's a tablet or whether it's a PC, whether it's an industrial machine or any activity we talk about, we need to have more and more automation, which actually makes actually some of the devices grow. Something like, I told you about the magnetic compass. Are you aware of the magnetic compass? You are aware of the magnetic compass? Right? In the iPhone or iPhone, I think, you have magnetic compass. So it basically, what does it give? It gives actually like, north-south direction. Maybe 20 years back, if you want to make a magnetic compass, it's a big deal. I have to build such a big dabba. But today, with all these MEM sensors, I can make it as small as possible. And with IT enabled your GUI print screen, I can make it also like visible with both longitude and latitude. So you keep moving, you can able to see exactly the various locations. I think recently there was a CBSE leak, correct? CBSE question paper leak. They're all there. So it was a big news. So the guys who actually taken the WhatsApp picture, without knowing that this data has been all stored. His position, longitude, latitude, is being recorded in the WhatsApp message. He didn't know. He thought, click a WhatsApp and send it. The room where he has taken the picture, how he transmitted, all been recorded. That's why we can say 2-3 days he has been simply copied. So you can say like the technology is pervasive, I call it, pervasive. Unlimited, you can able to use it for so many other applications. So I'm seeing actually a high growth of these sensors in the different cases. I don't know, as an electronic engineer, how many of you know Moore's law? Anybody know Moore's law here? There is only last bench always like this, girls are not talking. The Moore's law, the Robert Moore, who worked at Intel, 25 years or 30 years back, he predicted every 18 years, 18 months, he can able to increase the density by 100%. So a great thing happened, and I've been thinking, but I'm used to debate, I throw something up, right? The gravity has come down, right? And you stay there long. If I throw a ball, it will stay along there, it has to come down. So similarly, I was telling the technology, it can keep on growing, or the dimensions keep on shrinking. Up to what extent? No, sir, we have seen micron, nano, maybe now femto. I still remember when I was a young boy, when I was trying to work on a fab, we used to have 100 million. We can make a fab. As we complexity becomes more and more, the building a fab also becomes complex. Today, you want to just build a semiconductor fab, we need something like $2 billion. 2 billion. That is without an IP, without technology, without just the facilities. So $2 billion is a big deal for India, right? So I used to tell, when I didn't talk to like few people, the richness of country depends upon the number of fabs you have. So how many fabs India is having? How many fabs? So we know, sir, Fab India, there is a Bangalore, they make some clothes. There's a company called Fab India. Some fancy name. So we are very poor. We are very poor. We don't have actually a fab in India. You look at Malaysia, you look at Singapore, you look at Korea, you look at Taiwan. They all have multiple fabs. In fact, Korea is very aggressive and Taiwan is very aggressive on building fabs. So if you all want to sustain the growth, the politicians think like, we should also not take the money outside by some of the starbucks, you have seen all of them, some of them, they take in hundreds of crores, right? Thousands of crores, not hundreds. 10,000, 20,000 crores. So if I put part of the money, this perhaps say 30 years back or 20 years back or 10 years back, probably you would have seen some growth in the real-time scenario. So what China does is, some 5 years difference, they make the chip. Inferior, but it will do the job. So that's why I think China is able to catch up with the rest of the world in technology and experience in semiconductors, but not so. So we become actually application people. Most of us are becoming application people, wherein technology just follow. So somebody does it, we just follow it. Similarly, software. Somebody makes a tally, somebody makes a spreadsheet, somebody makes a MS Word. So we just copy it, because I was told like, $2 in Delhi to get MS Office. The official price is $150. So what do? We buy $2. Very easy to get $2. So we are trying to follow technology rather than actually innovate. So unless we change our game plan, like even a simple things, we start learning. Okay, so it is predicted somewhere in the end of 2018. So we are now talking about something like 10 nanometers and 5 nanometer based devices. If this dimension coming down, say very close, say like 5 nanometers down, the complexity is so high, then it may heat up or it may get burned, certain processing. So people are not really knowing beyond say 2018 or 19 or 2020 how the growth of semiconductors in the nanosphere. As of now, a lot of research is going on, but as I could see, there is going to be a bottleneck beyond say 1 nanometer. So that means like, that's why they call it actually bottom-up approach. So whatever we are seeing for the last say 50 years is called top-down. What do you mean by top-down? You can keep on reducing the size. By reducing size, you can reduce the power. You can have more chips. Like, maybe say 10 years back when you were in, you have seen a cell phone, right? The size was same, but you didn't have a camera, you didn't have a video, you didn't have other storage facilities. But today, the same size of a cell phone, you can be able to get something like say 64 GB, 128 GB. So you can have to pack these densities because of the nanotechnology. But everything has certain got limits. So if you go beyond the limits, right, you get strained. Maybe you can run at say 10 seconds, 100 meters, right? Maybe you can go down to 9. Can somebody go up to 5 seconds, 100 meters? Not possible, no? Not possible. Not possible. So we can mimic the birds. But we can't reproduce. People are trying. I don't know how many of you know. Flying birds of a small machines. We call drones. Farm type or below farm type. And maybe say 1 mm called a smart dust, which can just go around, take a picture, and then communicate. So things are happening. But it is impossible for somebody to mimic an eagle which is been flying maybe say 2,000 feet above sky can spot a fish, right? How sharp it is to locate, can you able to find out from 2,000 feet, that thing will see in our eyes. So our focal lengths are actually as not good as the eagle. But technology is trying to address at a cost. So we really don't know this ball game that we will achieve, but my prediction is like beyond 1 nanometer, there's going to be an issue. There's going to be an issue. So which I think a lot of companies are working on. Okay, I talked about nanotechnology which is growing, especially in the biomedical applications, even the mechanical applications. one application I can tell you, all of you are using fridge, correct? Which is the popular brand in India, fridge? Huh? Which fridge is used in popular? No, I don't know. Remember is there, but there is one more Korean company. It's Samsung. Samsung was the first company in the world to come out with a thing called nano paints. What is the beauty of the nano paints actually? When you spray inside the fridge, very small dust particles. It doesn't sit there, it just slide down. The cleaning of the fridge becomes very small because you're talking about particles which are much bigger than the nano size, so it doesn't stay there. It starts rolling down. So this advantage is going for nanotechnology. Other technology you can tell like the mechanical clips. So they use a diamond wheel to cut, right? Just for cutting so many things, even a stone. So when you want to break a big stone, there is a big diamond wheel to cut the stone. But today I think the same nanoparticle based diamond wheels, you get 30% efficiency. So nanotechnology is growing, but it has got some limitations. I said we may not be able to go into the transistor level, but we can also go in the sensor level. Okay. So as an electronic engineer, you should also know how the technology is being developed for a device, starting from say. Okay. So there are beautiful design tools available today to design a chip. Unlike earlier, where actually the chips are fabricated, the lead time is like 6 months. Today, with all this software technology, you can able to think, say, maximum 6 weeks. You can able to see your beta version within 6 weeks. That's why I think you can look at software. Most of the software, I think they will develop maybe less than a year. That's why Microsoft, you're taking advantage. It is releasing so many versions. Plus, I think if you look at actually district level or maybe even a city level, people still use 2007 Windows, right? Or MS Office. Microsoft Office has been used 2007, still they are using it. But 2016 version already released. So you can see these developments are possible today mainly because the design cycles have been brought down. Okay, this is the first chip I think I developed somewhere in 2006 for the pressure sensor. I quickly run it and we'll go to IoT. So this is a good movement because India didn't have actually a sensors of this type at that point in time. So we started understanding how this can be used for defense. So this is one chip I think we designed, we did analysis and we did the testing. And this is one-on-one equivalent to use the missile. Anybody know about the Akash missile? Heard of it? So this device has been used in Akash missiles, which has been developed at RCA Hyderabad. Anybody know what is RCA? RCA? Anybody know about Kalam? All of you know, right? You know Abdul Kalam? He worked for 25 years. Not 25 years. He worked in RCA, Hyderabad. He really established the technology center there. I think I was fortunate to just see him and discuss with him. And then I can also see, I think, please read one book called Wings of Fire. Some of you have read, I don't know. It's a beautiful book. Kalam has written about how he has developed technologies over the years. So it doesn't cost much. So you can get that book and see, because really Kalam worked like 24/7. Full life, he worked for technology. I think he has also worked on sensors in a big way. So I could be able to derive a lot of information from Kalam's works. In fact, when I developed this product, the imported device was costing around 1 lakh per piece. Because anything when you use in aerospace, you need to pay a lot of money. But now I think it's totally made in BL, so it is half the price we make same technology. Okay, the morning Kamath was talking about actually Scott, where he was talking about the pressure was low in one beam, right? Did he? So you can see in a wheel, there is a sensor there, pressure sensor, which actually indicates what is the pressure available. So there is a dashboard, like your tablet or maybe a cell phone. So from that you can able to know like how the wheel's pressure is. So based on that you can take a call like now you go to gas station or not. Why is all required? As we go, I think our highways became better and better. I think we can even drive within say 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers, the days to come. When you want to drive that speed, all the four wheels has to have more or less same pressure. This happened in Europe, happened in Japan, happening in US. So slowly India is also catching up to build some better highways, and this device, like this wheel, is going to be embedded with any sensors and the wireless. In fact, when I was in Ramaya, I think I had some couple of projects working on connected cars and connected homes. So what do? We have the sensors, we have an IoT chip, and from that you can connect the cloud. So when you do all that, it will become more and more smart. So I think maybe shortly we are going to get autonomous cars, which I will talk with many companies working on. You can also see these devices are being put into different applications. I was predicting, saying that this sensor is going to be used in a smartphone. Okay. Without the sensors, the phone will come down. Right? I remove all the sensors. Then it's equivalent to one of your old telephone. Right? You can only talk. So when you want to act, when you want to know more information, we need so many sensors. That's why I could see a large number of companies, the Samsung, Motorola, or iPhone, all these actually thought sensors is the backbone for the growth, because that is what actually makes more addition to your functions. Okay, you can see a lot of applications actually with the cell phones. In fact, in Bangalore, I think there are a lot of colleges, they talk about mobile applications itself as another course. Computer science, and they're talking about mobile applications because mobile is going to grow. If you like it or not, it's going to grow. So it has to grow, we need to know what type of applications can work on. So there are a lot of companies working on. And there's a company called Analog Devices, how many of you know, they are one of the pioneers in sensors used for both defense and aerospace. I will talk about actually the first sensor made for the automobile is called manifold optical sensor. Okay. So coming back to your popular iPhone, right? So when you categorize the iPhone, you can be able to see all the red dots. These are all the sensors. Actually, some 2 years back, I have been to TI. They sold me one more sensor. Pico projector. Are you heard of Pico projector? You have seen any cell phone with a Pico projector? Anybody seen? No, still it is not from the Indian market. So a lot of research is going on, and especially for India. Any idea why India is so important for this Pico projector? A lot of ladies who are at home, in the afternoon, they like to see a movie. So now they switch on the TV and then they can watch. Now, whatever coming in the TV, you have to listen, see, right? But with the cell phone, with a SIM card, you can be able to see 3 hours movie of your choice. So this is going to come, you like, everybody is carrying a cell phone, so you can always play it around. So maybe down to 3 years is going to come. Okay, I will do some couple of applications. On industry, like many times when you go to big cities, you park some vehicle, either a car or maybe a bike. By the time you come back, it's missing sometimes, right? I've seen in Bangalore, some fellow has taken some 30 motorbikes, maybe some 10 cars missing. So I think this IoT-enabled technology is going to give a lot of advantage because you can put a small IoT lock. The moment he takes it, I think, you get an SMS alert saying that, not only one SMS, you would have given some friends all their names, so a couple of alerts will going to go. The moment you put to the device, it will say like, how many 5 you want to have alerts. So it will alert you so that you will be able to catch the guy before he even moves the vehicle. Right? So it is going to happen, it is going to happen, it is going to happen. I think building automation, if you look at it maybe say 10 years back, now all the new buildings, look at it, is much more smart. They add a lot of smart functions. And actually in Bangalore, I think there are some houses, they are built with around 3 crore, 5 crore. So there are so many smart functions being added in the buildings. And especially when I went to Shanghai, I saw something like 110 floor building. I was really amazed. It's so gigantic and they use plenty of sensors. These sensors are going to be deployed in these buildings. One of my friends in Bangalore, Sadaji, named Sujit Singh Gill, in Mysore near Hunsur, you all know, no? Right? All of you know Hunsur? Right? What is famous for Hunsur? Famous for teakwood, right? So these people now night think they will cut it in teak or sandalwood. Sorry, sandalwood. Very often I think you can say like my tree is missing in the backyard, or maybe in the forest some 5 trees are cut. So I think this guy has come up with a very novel idea where you can put a vibration sensor. When somebody's put a blade, maybe like within 2 minutes or 1 minute. The police will be able to surrender. He is able to practically demonstrate. You can see the IoT technology being just able to be used in our own Madhipur. So it's got more relevance to today's world. So Kamath was in the morning saying that this one campus in Hyderabad is able to give a small form where he can put sensors, he can put NPK sensors along with soil moisture temperature. He can able to monitor the growth of whatever the is. But I could see like more than 10 years back, I was trying to talk to somebody in Israel. They're the only country in the world where they can able to harness the water, their own backyard, and they can able to grow oranges, maybe much better than Bangalore people. I'm not joking, because they have put the sensors so beautifully and try to diagnose and try to give the water or the nutrients which is required intact. So that's what the ball game, I think. So this is a very exciting area. I think the electronics students can be able to play around. Your campus is so big, you can occupy a small area and put some sensors and you can start monitoring. Whichever the plant you want to do, I think it gives actually a lot of yield improvements. So you can see a potato, you can put a sensor down and you can see how the growth can be improved. Yeah, you can see a full-fledged agriculture application wherein you can see a solar along with a wireless cover and with all the sensors. You can be able to monitor with an IoT application. They are all practical. I'm just saying, no, sorry, it's all like a dream. No. This all can happen. This all can happen. All can happen. Okay? So this is a real stress, right? If I talk to some of you, sir, I have iPhone, so I can say like Samsung, I say like Vodafone, somebody will say like I have Motorola. You know how these guys, each fellow has put their own charging technology. So you can't put one plug to other, right? So you have to carry. How can you carry? So if a friend comes to you, no, I want to charge my cell phone, but always no, I can't talk to somebody. I want to talk to my father. So we get stressed, right? The moment your cell phone is not working or charge is going down, you get stressed. You can see very clearly. She is getting terribly stressed by looking at so many battery options. Okay. So this is actually, the work is done, some of them from my friend. He is supposed to be one of the well-known technologists. Please remember Dr. V.K. Varman, you can note down, somebody is taking notes. Dr. V.K. Varman is around 78. He is from India, Madurai. He settled in Penn State. He was a mechanical engineer, became an electronic engineer. At the age of 70 plus, he became an MD in neurosurgery. I'm not joking. Please visit his website. He has written more than 500 technical papers, something like 0.5 billion funded projects, something like 40-50 PhDs, whatnot, and some 30 books. He was a friend of mine because I was been collaborating with him for the last 10 years, more than 10 years. So he has done a lot of studies on these sensors for the healthcare. How many of you know, I think, your body temperature, you can able to regulate with your own way of being? No, sir, body temperature automatically gets regulated. No. You can able to regulate your body temperature based on certain things. I did a lot of study, like when you are taking a cold ice cream, your body temperature suddenly changes from 38 degrees to something like, say, some portion of it, 5 degrees, right? Well, you're taking a 5-degree food. So there is a thermal imbalance. Some people who can have to take this thermal shift, next day they will get cold and cough. So true or not? So you go to doctor, no, I ate ice cream, so I got this fever, headache, whatnot. So what the great doctor gives? Paracetamol. For anything and everything is paracetamol. What a great doctor, yeah. Well, each body, each DNA, each blood group is got a different resistance in the body. I'm not joking. But the great doctor, you have to pay 100 rupees and you get an antibiotics, it is not cool. So by naturally, body temperature, again, it takes some time. Maybe 1 day, 2 days, it gets stabilized. Then you become alright. You believe the doctor, no, doctor gave this, so next time again it comes, again you go to the same doctor, he gives a little higher level of antidote because your body is become weak. So this cycle going on in this doctor fraternity, I don't know how many of you know, some of the big hospitals, they're doing a lot of cheating. I'm telling you very openly. Because there are always honest doctors. There are fraternity which actually fooling the people. Maybe one tip I'll give, you're all very young. I started taking water for the last, say 3 years. Early morning, 5 o'clock, drink 2 glasses of warm water. Don't take water during breakfast, lunch and dinner. You take 1 hour before, 1 hour after. So I was wearing specs at the age of 59, I'm around 66 now. So I removed my specs. I'm not joking. So please try that. You should never go to the doctor to the extent possible. I'm seeing the growth of this is becoming a phenomenal because they are trying to use a lot of sensors. I'll show you some sensors. All these people are exploiting. A single body, so many people are trying to study, right? Because we don't understand biology, right? 10th standard, after that we don't even understand, we don't want to understand our body. Let the doctors play with it. So I'm going to show you some pictures how the doctors are playing with our body. See, we are all addicted now. We are somewhere here. Not youngsters who are going to gym. Not Bangalore people, because Bangalore people are always healthy. Because nature has given them the sweating. But you go to Mysore or maybe Mandya, maybe in Bangalore, you get this culture. Right? So you get into all sort of problems. Okay? So you can see all sort of that tablet, that camera, this camera, all these are now becoming a part of life. Our body is getting invaded by all these tools. A simple body we can able to maintain, we need not to do all that, right? Our forefathers, maybe grandfathers, they never learned to alter the problems. Okay, sensors are required, but not here, some other place. But what to do is we got into problem, so we get into this. I strongly believe as youngsters, we should never miss the doctor. Because our body has got millions of sensors. Right? I don't know how many of you understand. If you have gastric trouble, you get indication. If you have headache, you get an indication. Right? If you have leg pain, you get an indication. The remedy is actually with you. Something called self-healing. Our body has got a beautiful self-healing. You take any animal, whether a dog or a cat, or anything, they go to the doctor? No. No, sir, we got a pet doctor, we take the pet doctor. Okay, we got more money, so what do we do? So we get to spend. So we also have more money, so we go to the doctor and give them. So they have a lot of unaffordable money. So these sensors are okay, but it has been used to be an emergency, not for a routine. But there are many doctors, they say like, every year you come and do checkup. Every year nothing is going to happen in your body. Maybe once in 5 years, once in 10 years, okay. But our body has got millions of sensors. You listen and you diagnose and you act, and so you can be perfect. Okay. So I could see a lot of business is taking place in these sensors. Okay. So these are the issues of this. You can see that old lady carrying something. Huh? Okay, so these are all called micro changes, which in where we can take a small amount of blood, we can send it to Bombay, or you can send it to New York, you can get your blood analyzed. That's what I think how rich people do. Because we don't have a diagnostic tools, we send it there, and maybe next day before we start your activity, you get all the reports. Because overnight they work, because there's a total different time difference, we send it. And then, or in Bombay, I think there are 1 lakh samples have been sent every day to diagnose and then use them on IT. All some of the girls, they work 9 o'clock to morning, 12 o'clock shift. Like IT, they also work in the medical diagnosis. So they send you a report in the morning, so doctor is very happy. Oh, I got a great report. So he is not giving any paracetamol again. Okay, a lot of sensors being used for diagnosing different needs. Okay, again, this is again taken from Dr. V.K. Varman. He has studied a lot of things about the health of the heart, and he also established called a point of healthcare diagnosis. What do you mean point of healthcare? You have sensor, you have your IoT, you have cloud, all this will use extensively, and then he is able to perform. Battery is down, I think. So we can help you to get some battery, or you can voice audible, right? Okay. So this is the work done by Dr. V.K. Varman. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so a lot of work is going on, especially hard, because this is one machine. Pardon? One machine actually works 24/7, right? Birth to the death. What a beautiful machine, correct? One machine works for 100 years. Actually, all our organs intended for 150 years. I don't know how many of you know. All our organs are working for 150 years. God has given some redundancy on certain organs, like 2 years. So one term still you can manage. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, kidney with 2 sides, but 1 heart. So that's why you can see so many people, the moment heart is a problem, living is a question. So a lot of research is going on with sensors. I think this guy, Dr. V.K. Vardhan, he designed a beautiful sensor-based networking. It's called a smart bra. So where he embeds in the cloth itself sensors and try to know the pulse rate. The health of the heart. Based on that, you can take a call saying that actually, what extent actually you are affected. Okay? So these are all the live pictures which I think he has given to me. It is confidential, it is not being kept outside at some point of time. I think he is able to come out with a beautiful product. Okay? I think some of you are going to treadmill. I am not seeing any. I am sure many of you are going to treadmill. So if you go to treadmill, you can see you get sometimes adjusted, or you get your BP going up, pulse rate going up, or sometimes it gets normalized. But especially old people, they will be careful because it can go to dangerous levels. One has to be careful about that. Okay? So you can see a large number of sensors being deployed. Okay. The morning, I think somebody talking about water sensors. The water sensors, I think, explained in Europe, very useful because when somebody is talking very close to you, your mouth is having some problems. So they will advise, or now in the cell phone itself, there is a water sensor. When you're talking, it will say please visit the dentist. So it will give an alert saying that you need to go for a teeth cleaning, or maybe you have some problem with your stomach. Actually, it is not the mouth problem. I don't know how many of you know. When you're getting a bad water, the problem is in the stomach. So this guy is again, the dentist will actually clean it. Because after again 6 months, again you have to go. So they don't know the root cause. So most of the people, they don't know the root cause. If you don't understand for a problem, you don't understand the root cause, you have to pay for it. Right? Suppose somebody failed in a subject, right? Somebody could have done. You don't know the root cause, either teacher or yourself or combination. So instead of it, no, your parents will say you are not studied. So scold you, abuse you. So any problem, if you try to understand the root cause, then what happens? You can come out of it once for all. Otherwise, what happens? You'll be struggling in life. So these are the things which is happening. Okay. This is again a live photo where actually when the baby is in the womb, you can be able to completely monitor and see the safe delivery. Okay. So let me so I can take another 15-20 minutes. Is it okay? I think 150 session is ending, right? Is it 150? Hello, somebody can tell why the session has to end? 1:30? Okay, fine. Because I said I can go up to 5 o'clock. Because this is an area I think I want youngsters to learn more. So I will definitely stop around 1:30 because I am also feeling hungry sometimes. So I need to fill up my stomach. You do so, right? So we will get to the next level of this workshop. What is called? What is the workshop called? Internet of IoT, right? I do not understand that. It has become a jargon. It has become a fashion. It has become actually sort of a misnomer. IoT. Everybody is like IoT. Last, if I am doing a project on IoT. Yeah, what do you do in IoT, sir? No, I take one LED, I take one controller, I will take one Wi-Fi chipset from China, ESP8266. So I am able to do in the cloud, things speak, I can able to control. Oh yeah, very good, you have done IoT. Correct. Okay, that is